World of Tank Blitz Armoured Pants here, having a review for you, don't I? This is the Hetzer Kame, which is a premium tier 4 tank destroyer. Now, what are we looking at here? What the fuck is this? This is a cockroach, isn't it? You're like, what's this got to do with tanks armoured? Let me tell you. Because the Hetzer Kame looks like something that you see crawling across the floor when you go somewhere hot in holidays, like Corfu or something like that. Something you want to hit with a fucking newspaper and just go, splat. So that's what it looks like, doesn't it? Just like a little bug thing crawling across you. Splat, splat, splat. That Hetzer Kame looks like a little bug thing just going right across the floor. But anyway, that's what it always reminded me of. You know, you're sitting there having a poo, reading a newspaper, and these things start crawling across the tiles in that bathroom, wherever you are for them. So it looks like one of them, doesn't it? But anyway, let's have a look at it here. So let's go into Blitzinger, have a look. Now this is basically a premium version of the normal Hetzer, which is the tier 4 German tank destroyer, which is a tech line 3. This is a premium tank which is available, you can get it in a crate, or it's available to buy occasionally, and it's available at special events, and of course coming up to Christmas it'll probably be available in whatever crates, whatever bullshit war game that has going on then. So is it a good tank? Well, it's a tank destroyer, so obviously it has no turret, so it's more difficult to play than a normal tank. So if you're new to the game, this tank will be difficult for you to play, and I would suggest that you play heavy tanks, then medium tanks, and later on you can move on to tank destroyers, because the fact that they don't have a turret makes them much more limited. Also, you can't really go front line in them. You have to kind of sit at the back, and you kind of have to know the maps and have the basic skills of the game before you can sort of really utilize a tank destroyer to good effect. You can see here that it has a 75mm gun, so it's a very big gun on it for a tier 4, the same as a DW2, something like that. And it has good aim time. It has relatively decent reload, but it's, you know, it's not fantastic, but it is pretty okay. It's pretty fast going forward and not so great reverse. But here's the thing about it, right? It has amazing frontal armor. It's difficult to pen, even if you're up tiered and it's a tier 5. If you're front onto him, it's going to be difficult for him to penetrate, right? It's like trying to penetrate a 90-year-old nun. It's difficult, right? Let's just say it's difficult. Those vows of celibacies and old age, they get in the way. Just like this frontal armour, it is the tank's equivalent of those vows of celibacy and old age. But on the arse of it, you're fucked, you've got nothing. And on the sides, you don't have much more. So basically you need to be front on to the enemy. So it's like this, it's like being in prison. Your first day in prison, especially if you're a good looking fella. Yeah, arse to the wall, everything else sticking out front ways. Just remember like that. So basically you play this tank as if you've just been put in a maximum security prison. Just looking at it as if it's your first day in prison and you got to get in the shower, arse to the wall. That's all you need to remember. If you get your arse to the wall in this tank, you're going to do very well. Now you can see here the front on, it is difficult to penetrate, right? But you don't want to get your arse exposed or the sides. Now, where are we now? Let's look at the tactics for it. It's telling you that peekaboo is not good, front line's not good, long range sniping is good, that's about it. But here's the thing. If you're in the top tier, if you're not up tiered, if you're top tier in the game, you're tier 4, then you can actually push on a bit in it. As long as you just keep that frontal armour facing onto the enemy, don't expose your sides or your arsehole, you're going to do okay. Once the enemy gets around you or behind you, you're fucked. You're like that good looking fella in prison. Fucked. And it's not going to be pleasant, just like it's not going to be for him. You're again fucked. You're going to get arse pounded and it's not good. Just think Shawshank Redemption with that mop and bucket scene. You know, it's not good. Nobody likes that. So anyway, let's move on. Right, so now we've got some gameplay with it. Fairly simple tactics, as I said. Just don't keep your arsehole safe and you should be alright. Now, as I decided, I am top tier here, but I decided I'm going to not push on. I'm going to let somebody else do the spot and all that. I'm going to try to use this big gun and 7.9 second reload, which, as I said, is not great, but it's more or less equivalent to the DW2. But you've got a big gun, you can do lots of damage with it, especially on the lighter tanks or medium tanks or any tanks in tier 3, you're going to do a lot of damage. So I'm trying to see if anybody can spot up some targets for me. I've gone to the back of the map, so I'm not going to be spotted. I have my arse to the back of the map, so all that's exposed is the front of the tank, and I'm just looking for targets now. When you're playing tank destroyers, by the way, especially if you're new to the game and you haven't done it before, patience is a quality that you're going to need. Because if you just push on looking for targets, you're going to get smashed. Your job is to support the other tanks in your team. It's not to be the hero. So just remember that. Now what have I done here? Well, there's nothing coming to our left hand side, like you can see. So what I decided to do was to push up a bit, but still not going front line. I'm still sort of behind our tanks, or I'm sort of behind into the right hand side, and see if we can do some damage for this targets that they've spotted up. Now I know that this Panzer 4D and this Panzer 38 are going to find it difficult to penetrate me front on, so I'm going to make sure that there's nothing coming onto me on the side. I'm going to push on a bit, because I know that as long as I keep the front of the tank, it's going to be difficult for them to pen. Now, front on, as I said, and now I'm just going to wiggle and jiggle a bit to make awkward angles for them so they can see if they can't pen me. Another round into him, again took a few hits, but zero damage because the armour is good on the front and it will protect you. I'm going to put another shot into him when he's not looking. Now he's down to a one shot. I'm going to push on again, moving on, but keeping that armour always to the front. Put another one into him. It's Panzer 38 NA. As you can see, there isn't much that I can't penetrate in this, even front on, but to the side it's going to go through everything with normal rounds. Another thing to consider is that if your side have the back of something facing you, consider a HE round, because there's a very very good chance it'll go through. Now, this is why they don't recommend 1v1 brawl in this thing, because the aiming time and your your firing arc is very very limited. So the aiming time and the aiming time is not helpful in brawls when you're moving, because the aiming time is only really good when you're at a standstill. So when you're moving around side to side like this, it's difficult. And you can see I missed quite a few shots on this guy. On the plus side, I've moved by moving around and keeping my armour facing onto him. I haven't actually taken any damage in this brawl, which is pretty good considering that the A20 would normally shred you on the sides and the back. But by keeping him only showing him the front of the target, I've really given myself a chance, and I actually came out of that brawl in the end. He decided to run away because he wasn't getting the better of me. I don't know whether he had APCR loaded up or not, but even if he had, when he's moving too, it's still difficult to penetrate me. But you'll see here the problem on moving targets. This is not what a tank destroyer is for. The tank destroyer is for sitting still and picking off targets other people have spotted for you. Now we need to go and help this Valentine too, because this DW is going to smash him. DW has a big gun, he's got the same size gun as me, and if that Valentine 2 goes down on his own, he's a one shot from. So I need to go and help him. So at some point in time in the game you need to change your tactics. You can't always just sit back. So we've gone to try and help this guy. Now the Valentine 2 is a good team player. He goes behind him, and that distracts the DW, keeps him away from me, and that lets me get another shot into him. Now we have the DW2 down to 2 shot, and he sees distracted, so this time I track him and do some damage, and again the Valentine's behind him. The DW is trying to deal with him before he deals with me, and I get another shot into him, so that Valentine did a great job. And he says here now, sorry team, but in actuality he did a great job for the team, and that's what you should do. When you're up against another tank, if there's two of you, just approach from different sides. It doesn't matter how good you are, what kind of unicorn player you are, if you approach from both sides, it's very very difficult to win that duel. Very difficult, so he did the right thing there. So also let that be a lesson to you too. And even though he died, he really helped the team, because with that DW taking me out, and in actuality that's the big difference between this guy and the Panzer 35 left here and my Valentine 2. That Panzer 35 didn't try to come in and help his teammate. My Valentine 2 tried to come and help me. Now with that DW, it took like 4 hits to kill him. So if he had come to help him and engage one of us, then in actuality they had a good chance to win that. But by staying back and hiding or whatever he was doing, he really let his teammate down at the DW. So, you know, even though they had probably more hit points and a better chance of winning that game, but they didn't play together as a team, whereas we did. So that's another lesson to draw from this game. So there you go, Hetzer Kame SP, mastery game there. We did 1.75k damage, 2 kills, and you can see the Valentine 2 there underneath me finished second in the game. He did a great great performance for his team. Because you can't, as we've always said, and one of the things to be highlighting Blitz Buddy is this is a team game. You can't win on your own. You need to play for the team. If you try to do it on your own, you're just going to lose. So there you go. There's the old Hetzer Cammy there. Smash, smash, smash. Little bug going across the floor. But keep its arse to the wall, and it's a very, very effective bug. Yeah, and it won't be so easy to spot, even if you're a big, huge fella like that guy there with the big fly swat. So just keep that in mind. Alright, subscribe, follow if you haven't done already, or if you don't want it, don't bother. Free world, isn't it? Alright, cheers, Mush. See you now. Take care, boys, boys.